If you want to make money in episodic pivot, then focusing on certain sectors is a better strategy. While an EP can come from any sector, the vast majority of money in EP is in three sectors. One of them is biotechnology or related to healthcare, drugs, biotechnology, medical technology. Those are the things which tend to make big moves. That's one thing which you can focus on and look at every stock which is a catalyst which is going to be making a move in this particular sector. Typically in these sectors you will have like in stocks which go up based on drug trial news, FDA clearance, or tie up with another company if they are developmental stage companies. And these stocks can make very big moves. You'll see a number of them making a big move when I show you some of the stocks which I made a big move on EP in this particular period. Now, the problem with that is while I can put a lot more money on other kind of EPs where there is a tangible catalyst and the risk is lower in terms of those stocks gapping down or something in the biotechnology field, your risk of the stocks having adverse reaction or coming out with secondary after an EP is higher. So in order for to trade these kind of EPs, you can have a two-stage strategies. The first stage strategy is to try and capture the immediate news reaction for 1 or 2 days, and that can be very big news. And then look for a delayed reaction EP on these things. And sizing terms, you have to size it down unless it's a stock which has a real earnings and sales. So biotechnology is one sector where you're going to get the largest number of EPs in any year, which are basically very, very explosive. Now, the second kind of a sector where you get very big moves is technology. Technology stocks inherently by their nature have ability to make big moves because something in technology takes off, then it can make a big move. So technology is another sector where you'll see a lot of big moves. Advantage of technology stock is that when a technology gets going, it can last for a longer period of time. Plus, in most of the technology stocks, you're also going to get real earnings and real sales, and most of the time, real sales growth, and that what drives the EPs in that sector. The third kind of a stocks which make big moves are the cyclical stocks. Cyclical industries are industries where they undergo big cycles. So when boom period is going on, they will have very good earnings or sales, and when there is a bad time, then they can go down a lot. A good example of a cyclical EP in recent times is Abercrombie and Fitch, which was basically a turnaround kind of an EP. And if you see here on this particular day, it had earnings, and from that earnings, it kept on going for almost a year and made around 400% move. There was another earnings here, and the stock kept on going. So in the case of cyclical industry, because they have a cycle when say if the economy is not doing well, then the airlines do not do well, or the rental car companies do not do well. The moment the economy starts turning, those kind of companies can make a big dramatic moves. So cyclical sectors and retail stocks in particular in that particular thing have this ability to go through this boom and bust kind of a cycle where and within the retail also the luxury retail, like the kind of retail which is not a necessity. So whenever there is a bad economic period or a challenging economic period, people cut down on their expenses on these things, and then when the turnaround happens, it catches the market by surprise, and when it catches the market by surprise, the stock makes a dramatic move. So cyclical sector is another sector. Now let's look at some of the stocks which have made big moves in this year and see most of them will be biotechnology, technology, or these kind of stocks, and that will give you an idea as to what to focus on. So one of the stocks which is basically recently had a good catalyst is WGS. It's still going up. Now if you see, it is a healthcare information technology kind of a healthcare information services stock, had a nice high volume breakout on the earnings day basically, EP, earnings related EP. If you see like an elevation oncology, now these are the kind of EPs you are going to get in biotechnology stock where they come out with a trial news, or they come out with a phase 1, phase 2 or phase 3 trial news, or they come out with a news where they tie up with a bigger company to develop a drug. So in this case, this is a drug news, and that particular news led to a 500% move, and subsequently it went sideways and had another move basically. If you see, this is another stock which has like in a big move, but this is not really in the kind of sectors which makes the kind of big moves. Cancer drug phase 1, CRBP. So these are the kind of stocks. Biotechnology is going to produce the maximum number of EPs. But the tricky part of playing biotechnology is there is a big move on the day one. Like on this particular day, the stock made a very big move, and you can see that at some stage it was up almost 400%. Then it ends up giving up all the gains or gains of that day. So you have to play it as a two-stage EP. You play it on the first day and then wait for a delayed reaction, and you can play it for a delayed reaction. Similarly, you had a stock which had a similar kind of an action recently where you had a drug news, and then the stock makes such a big move in one day and then had a pullback, and then here it makes you a delayed reaction, kind of gives you a delayed reaction EP. And this is a very common finding which you will see. Now this is not something which came from the technology field basically. This came in out of technology, like not really technology, but if you really look at below the surface, this is insurance provider, online insurance provider for cars. So it is like a technology only kind of a company, but you can have an EP which is coming out from non-technology or non-biotechnology or consumer discretionary kind of a field, but that's more rare. More likely most of your big moves are going to come from stocks which are like from the drugs and biotechnology field. Here is another example. Obesity drug news came out of Viking Therapeutics. It makes a move, and then another move, news comes out, obesity drugs result good. So again it makes a big move. Again you'll see the same pattern. So in order to trade this kind of biotechnology thing, you have to look at it as a two-stage move. The first is the immediate reaction, which can be just 1 or 2 days, and the second one is a delayed reaction. After coming out of the news, these companies typically raise capital, they will have a secondary issue, their big move will be digested. People who research these kind of companies and buy based on research, they sell into these kind of pops, and then after that, if there is still life left in them, then they offer you a delayed reaction kind of a trade, which can be a swing trade, or it can be a trade which can be a big trade. So obesity drug results good, that was another example. This is like the theme which I say is important in this market, and the theme which is important in the market is basically the AI related theme, and Nvidia is a big stock in AI, and any news which is related to AI which comes out, or a stock comes out saying related to AI, can make a big move. This is an example of a thematic EP. It teams up with Nvidia and it made such a big move in just one day. So that's one. So this is a drug news kind of a thing. Again, you'll see the same pattern. News comes out, stock immediately makes a move for 1 or 2 days, especially on the day of the news, it can make a big move, then pulls back, and then makes a delayed reaction kind of a EP. So delayed reaction EP is something which you can use in the biotechnology field. This is another example. What is the theme? AI. The moment any company currently thematically says AI, what you're going to get is you're going to get stocks making big moves based on AI. And this is an example of a AI based kind of a move. And obviously there are apparent themes in the market which you can figure out if you're trading in the market on a daily basis. Like say some days ago or some weeks ago, the marijuana stock started breaking out on a thematic news that the government is likely to change the policy on marijuana, and there was a rumor about government policy change, and that became a theme, and you saw stocks one after the other in that sector breaking out. AI is a theme which is not just a few months theme, it is a secular theme. Like AI is going to play out for next 3, 4, 5, 10 years, and as a result, the stock makes move based on that. The cryptocurrencies is another theme which keeps coming back and going down. So it's a cyclical industry. The cryptocurrencies are extremely cyclical. When the market is doing well, the crypto also does. When the market goes down, the crypto also goes down. And from time to time, when the crypto theme is working, you'll see stocks which are related to the crypto theme, like Mara, Riot, CLSK. They will make like a big moves based on the thematic EP. Basically, like suddenly you'll see 100, 200% move, and then they can collapse equally fast. When the theme is working, Mara can make like 70, 80% in just like in a few weeks, and then it can collapse. So thematic EP is another category of EP which is very important to know. So if you want to like really start fine tuning your EP criteria and all, the number one place to look for is biotechnology or drug or medical technology stocks, followed by technology, and the third category is basically consumer discretionary or cyclical industry where there are big cycles, and those cyclical industries like furniture is a cyclical industry. When the times are good, people buy a lot of furniture, and when the times are bad, they don't buy. Mattresses is a cyclical industry. Airline is a cyclical industry, or the rental cars or leisure or travel is a cyclical industry. Casinos is a cyclical industry. So these stocks will typically have undergo cycles, and when the cycle turns, they can make big moves. And then the thematic EPs. Thematic EPs, you have to keep an eye on what is the theme which is working in the market. During the COVID-19 time, work from home stocks was the theme. COVID related stocks itself was a theme. Now the theme is really AI, crypto, marijuana currently. China stocks have come back into China turnaround is a theme which is coming in. And if you start like using this kind of discretionary factors to determine where to focus your attention on, then you will find more success in doing EP than just going and doing EP on any random stock.